Pro boxing fans here with esteemed trainer Dominic Ingle. We're down here in Paddington for the open workout, Kell Brook and Kid Galahad. We've just seen Kell go through, get put through his paces. He's got a smile on the face. You're demanding a chocolate brownie from him. How does it feel to have Kell back with you?
Yeah, he might have left physically at one point, but he's always been there in spirit. That's the gym where he's always trained, and for whatever personal reasons, they come and they go, but they always find their way back. And like I said at the time, there's never a fallout. I've known him for too long. Kell, I've known him since he was 10 years old. There's never going to be a fallout. People, make the choices in life, and they stand or fall by him. He wasn't the best fighter his last time out. He did do everything right, but like I've tried to explain over the years, that the final 5 to 7 days before a fight are crucial. Billy Joe Saunders, boxing in America last year, had a great camp. He had some great sparring. But we didn't get into America till 7 days before that fight, and he still managed to knock the guy out in the 11th round. That's the training. It's not ideal preparation. It's the same with Kelly. Had a great camp for the last fight, but when you get into Sheffield, the crowd, just little mistakes. He came in a bit light. He came in a lot light for that fight. He never needed to give the weight advantage away, and that's what affected him in the long run. And there's got to be somebody there to say, look, you're not going to do that, and that's usually me. Somebody didn't tick that box. And the performance, he went out a bit too quick instead of being, pacing it out, and he made a hard fight out of a potentially easy fight. So that's down to experience. He's back in the gym. He's been back in the gym 5 months or so. We've done some cycling. We've done some training. We've had a laugh and a joke. He's enjoying his training again. He's getting motivated. This is the thing, they get motivated by other kids. Billy, Liam Williams, Kid Galahad. So he's got the spark back. He's 2020. He's coming up for 34 this year, and I think, I've said to him, look, I keep saying this, a good 12 to 18 months, boxing and training, give it your best shot, and then walk away, be happy. Leave it all in a box. That was your boxing career. You've succeeded in what you chose to do. You've got a nice house, lovely family, a few quid. Enjoy your life. You've put a lot into boxing. He has. He's been doing it since he was 10. It's a long time in the game. So, he's giving it the ball a kick. Look at him today. He looks sharp on the pads. The power's there. He's in great shape. He's had his shirt off. He looks fresh. So hopefully he's going to get the fights he desires this year. And hopefully he's in the best place to contest them as well.
After the Zarafa fight, he admitted that he did get complacent going into the fight. Maybe the fire really wasn't burning for that opponent.
No, I think I'm going to interrupt you. I don't think that's what it is. I think he was. Look at the guy who does his nutrition, Greg Marriott. I keep in touch with Greg a lot, and the camp was going great. Kell was training well. I was looking at some of his stuff, and I always kept an eye on him. At the end of the day, when you put that much work into somebody, you don't want to see him fail, because it's almost like, your work's been undone. When you see a successful person, it's nice to be part of that. And if they fail, it's not good, because it's like you've wasted a part of your life. And I just think, a lot of people around him were saying, this kid's no good, you're going to finish him off, you're going to 1 or 2 rounds, and people were like putting the idea in his head. Well, in old Kell's career, he's only really had, I think, 1 or 2 first round stoppages, and he should never go on a first round stoppage. Look at Jerome McLennan against Nigel Benn. He said, I'm going to knock him out in a round, and every round it went past that, you could see a little bit being taken away from McLennan. Now, he just had the wrong game plan. It could have been a different fight, but I just don't believe John Fewkes was experienced enough to control Kelly in what he needed to do. You've got to know, it's like racing a horse. It's like when to hit him with a stick, when to pull him back. That's what training a fighter's like. It's not just about pad work and going for a run. It's knowing what your fighter's got and when he needs to step on the gas and when to hold back, when to finish, when to hold back.
And sorry, can I say, how long does it take then to establish that between fighter and trainer? Can that happen in one fight?
No, it can't happen in one fight. It takes a lot of time, and that's why when that happened, I went to watch the fight, and I knew I could have put my house on what was going to happen, because it's observing these guys from a young age. You've got to know the personality. I've lived with Kell Brook. I've been on training camps. I spent a great deal of my life with him for a long time. You know how they tick. You know when they're getting tired. You know the little signs. And you can't learn that in a training camp. You can't. And he got so much more experience than John Fewkes. How can you really respect somebody who's not really done as much as you? So there's a lot of factors involved, and sometimes fighters can get a little bit carried away, or the people around them saying, you're brilliant. There's one fighter who I think could probably do it on himself, and that's Floyd Mayweather. I don't think there's any other fighter, in my opinion, I might be wrong, just from what I look at boxing. Floyd Mayweather is a very, very smart fighter, and he's done a lot of stuff himself. He's come from a family, but I've seen him training. He knows what he's doing. And he knows what he's been in the game long enough, and he's unbeaten. So that tells you he knows what he's doing. That's the only fighter who can tell how to train himself. You know what I mean? He could train himself. So he could even train himself to beat himself. That's how good he is. And Kell Brook's not one of them fighters, but not many fighters are. And you've got to be realistic. Somebody's got to be able to tell you at the end of the day, no matter how high and mighty you think you are, somebody's got to keep your feet on the ground. Somebody has, whether it's your partner, your trainer, your dad, whoever it is, somebody has. You've got to listen to one person. And, that for Kell Brook, that was me. And he's back here, and hopefully, in February, he performs well. And he gives us the fight that we want, and he's back on track. And we'll tell him that fight whether he's actually got anything left in the tank.
Just to go off topic from boxing for a second, Kell has admittedly been susceptible to maybe falling into a darker place at sort of low points in his career. You know him so well. How do you push the buttons to get him back up and back in gear?
I've been asked that question a lot, and you look at people like Frank Bruno who's gone through it. I think he said he was diagnosed with being bipolar. The trouble with boxing and being around boxing is the highs are high, the lows are low. The adulation, the fame, the fortune, it's addictive. It's like a drug. And then a week after the fight, 2 weeks after the fight, it's all been taken away, and you get just a natural down. Even as a coach, you get a natural down effect. And if you're not around the right people, it can get even worse. You can sink deeper and deeper into it. If you haven't got anything, your life's controlled for 16 weeks, 12 to 16 weeks, you're doing the same thing, and all of a sudden that's gone. Your routine's gone. And you're actually a bit lost, because actually boxing's your life. Unless you go back into another camp or train, then you don't know where you're going, and you get lost a little bit. And that's the thing about boxing. Something needs to be in place for fighters when they finish a career. He has been in some dark places, but I'll tell you what, he's always got himself out of that position himself. He's sunk low, but he's actually dragged himself back out again. Obviously, he's got people around him, but the only person who can get him out of that darkness is himself, and he's managed to do it so many times. I've told him when his career's coming to an end, he needs to start to wean himself out of that situation. He needs to start putting other things in life. He likes to fish, he does other stuff, but fill that void, because boxing is a massive, massive space in your life, and when it's gone, it is an emptiness. Even when you've got your family and everybody else, it plays such a big part that there's a big hole there. It's like somebody dying. It's like when fighters pack up or leave the gym or the careers come to an end. It feels like that to me. It's like you've lost somebody. So, he's got to get something in place. And I think now he's getting older and a bit more mature, mentally mature. He's accepting that and putting things in place for that event when it does come.
From the mental side to the physical side, when I spoke to Liam Williams last week, he called you the scientist. So I wonder if you could give us a little bit of analysis in terms of Kell Brook going up and down in weight and also being out for a year. What are the challenges he faces because of these two things?
The Scientist is one of my favourite songs by Coldplay, to be honest. It is all about formulas and timing, and it's a lot of things. But I see so many. I've had a guy today, a trainer. I see so many trainers these days. The old school trainers, Jimmy Tibbs, Dean Powell, Joe Gallagher's an old school trainer, Billy Graham. These trainers are now going. There's not many coming through. Luckily Mark Tibbs has been under the tutelage of Jimmy, so you're learning a bit. But the old school mentality, it's all going, and we're getting these guys now who think pad work is the bee's knees. Look, if you can find me a video of Muhammad Ali eating pads, then I'll stamp and verify pad work. Pad work's the icing on the cake. Do you understand? That's all it is. Boxing training and coaching is about motivating the fighter, moving the fighter in the right direction, giving him the game plan. It's not about pad work. Pad work can be, it can be robotic, it can be mechanic, it doesn't mean anything. I've never seen Floyd Mayweather in any fight replicate the pad work he does in the fight so pad work in the gym, in a ring. I haven't. It's just about timing. It's just a drill. That's all it is. It's just a timing drill. Getting back to realistic stuff. What you're going to throw in a fight. So, Liam Williams is a fighter, and it's about recognising what the strengths of that fighter is. The natural instinct for any guy, any fighter, is to have a tear up, is to stand toe to toe and let the shots go on. Liam Williams loves that, but he's a very good boxer. Kell Brook's a very good boxer. But your basic instinct is to stand and have a tear up, and it's being able to control the fighter, giving him the game plan, telling them round by round what they're going to do. Kell Brook did it against Sean Porter. The game plan, he stuck to it 100%. Liam Williams, in every fight this year, he's done the same thing. So it's about knowing the fights, like I said before, knowing when to push, when to pull, who to have them sparring with, when to give them so many rounds. We don't do a lot of open sparring, 4 rounds at a time. I don't believe in all this heavy sparring. It's saving the fighter for the fight. That's what it's all about. So, it's nice that Liam Williams is having a great career so far. Last 12 months have been fantastic for him. He's listened, and as long as he continues to listen, he'll always fight that way. He's getting rid of all the decisions what he's made, which are wrong, because he's basing on his experiences, not mine. And I've been in this situation a lot with fighters, you know, from the past, Nazim Ahmed, Harold Graham, Johnny Nelson, you know, fighters, world champions, British champions, it's experience. That's what makes a trainer. And if you've got enough experience, you put it into practice, then you end up developing good fighters. You know, that's where it is, it's experience, not pad work, not telling somebody to do S&C. It's about learning the art of hitting, not getting hit, being defensive, being attacking, knowing everything, how to throw a jab, how to avoid a left hook. That's what being a coach is all about.
Just a word on the opponent, Marc De Luca. Why was he chosen? Who else was on the shortlist?
I was given a few names, and that name stuck out. He's a southpaw. Kell's very good against southpaws. All right, he boxed Errol Spence. He didn't win. For me, he was winning the fight. But I've seen De Luca fight in Boston a few times. He's tough. He can take a shot. He's exciting to watch, and his game. And I think he's younger than Kell, and for him, it's an opportunity. If he can upset the apple cart, he's in the mix. I think Andrade's out that way. I think that's why the fight's been made somewhere down the line. Eddie's in touch with the promotional team, easy to work with, and he's got his chance. And he'll be reveling in this chance, coming over to England, putting on a show. And after Kell's last fight, he'll probably think he's got every chance.
The rest of 2020 for Kell, who do you want to see him in with next? How's that 2020 going to look?
I think, depending how he fights in February, he's got to look good. If it's one of these where he's looking a bit rusty and a bit ring-worn, then I don't think any amount of training or motivation or anything is going to get him, where he needs to be into the big fights. He might have to think about packing up. If he looks, better than he did in his last fight, that's a start. But we can only see, there's lots of fights I'd like to see him in, but I don't want to see him in a fight he's not going to win or he's going to get beat up in. So let's wait for this fight in Sheffield on the 8th to come to fruition and see how he performs, and then start picking the route through.
That's a really interesting point there. So you're actually saying that for Kell, this is a make or break fight. If he's showing signs of being a little bit worn out, a little bit maybe I don't want to say done, but towards the end of his career.
The word you're looking for is shot. But that can apply to a lot of things. But yeah, you're right. You've got to. He's 34 this year. I've known him a long time from being a kid. I don't want to see him getting hurt. It's different when they're young. He's had a lot of injuries in his career, big injuries. facial plates getting smashed in eye sockets and everything. Getting his leg chopped off nearly. So he doesn't need any more of that. At the 34 years of age. But as long as he's got his time in his legs, the power's still there, and he can avoid shots and punishment. Then carry on. You can be in the big fights, because all of a sudden you get old overnight after the age of 30. Golovkin's beginning to slide now a little bit after his last fight, and that's when you've got to be careful, and that's when you've got to rely on the people around you. Say, look, as much as you love boxing, the fame, the lights, the glory, it's time to stop, because you could have one fight too many.
Absolutely. Quick word on Kid Galahad. Talk to me about the opponent first of all, and Josh Warrington came out and said it's a bit of a joke that this has been made an eliminator for his IBF title, and talk to me a little bit about that as well.
You could always say it's a joke, but I could turn around and say it's a joke, the scoring on the last fight. A lot of people had that fight 8-4 to Galahad, 7-5 to Galahad, and although Warrington threw a lot, he didn't land many. So that's his opinion. And we put a complaint into the IBF. They've got a fair rules policy. We got a solicitor on it. We went through the rules. We picked out the points. We gave them the scorecards. We gave them the videos. They analysed it all. We asked for an immediate rematch, and we got put back in the final eliminator, which was good enough. So they must have seen the point of doing it. If he gets a unification fight, he'll get that first, he'll get the opportunity. Then it's for him to prove everybody wrong. If he beats Stevenson, then he'll get a bit more grace time, and he can decide what he wants. He'll have 2 titles then. If he doesn't want to fight Galahad, he can give up the IBF. If he wants to fight Galahad, he can. So the ball's going to be in his court. He's got a tough fight. We've got a tough fight in Marrero. It's not an easy fight for Galahad. It's not an easy fight at all. It's quite a difficult fight. He's tough, he's seasoned, his game, he can punch, and he's a southpaw.
Very lastly, hot off the press, Robbie Davis Jr. joining the stable. Why was the decision made? What's he going to bring to the gym?
Fighters come to me. I don't. Somebody actually asked me on social media, what do you look for when you're trying to get a fight? And I go, as fighters come to me, I don't go rooting for fighters. And somebody said that's a bit arrogant. Well, it's not really, because they are the employer at the end of the day. The fighter is the person who employs you to train them. And so if a fighter wants to come to me, then that's fair enough, I'll train him. If I don't think I can do anything with him, I'll turn him down and say, not for me. I think I can do something with Robbie Davis. I think he's a committed kid. I think he's recognised things in people like Liam Williams and other fighters. Another fighter I've got called Willie Hutchinson, who's 10-0, a good prospect. they're all moving away from home. They're coming to live in Sheffield. They watch me on social media, up at first thing in the morning, training kids all day. I'm committed to the job. It's not a part-time job for me, boxing. It's a lifestyle. So, they're looking for trainers and coaches who are going to commit as much time to them as they are to the sport. And like I said, I'm a full-time professional. A lot of trainers aren't lucky to be in that position. They've got part-time jobs or full-time jobs, or they do all the gym work. They do one-on-one PTs with normal people. I don't. It's just pure boxing with me. So, at 30 years old, he's probably just made the move at the right time. He's not on the slide. He's still got a lot to offer. He was in a fight last time out, which, if he'd have won, he would have probably stayed where he was. But he got beat by a fraction, a bit like Liam Williams against Liam Smith. Just got edged out, lost a bit, he lost his way a bit, and then rejuvenated himself by coming to Sheffield. And I think Robbie's been following Liam very closely and thought, if I can apply the same kind of discipline and dedication that Liam has, maybe my career after 2 losses is going to go the same way as yours. That's how they think.
Dominic Ingle, thanks for being to Pro Boxing Fan.
No problem.